episode 183. Thank you all for listening to episode 182, People Power Pie. I am Gary, Mark, here with my co-host,
Jake.
And Busch Light.
Busch Light is not a sponsor of OTL Sports Podcast. Burger Light, maybe someday. But
that's expensive for us.
Yeah, we probably need that bottom of the barrel Hornbill Light or some shit.
Nah.
That would be pretty disgusting. All right, so we believe that the great Cody Bryant will join us later, but he's probably watching Last Dance on repeat because, you know, to him, MJ's the GOAT, which we'll cover that today about Michael Jordan and The Last Dance. We'll have some discussions, but for now, thank you to Wes Anderson for Moments of Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music, and give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. So first thing, we'll talk about NASCAR Sunday. I know we have a race tonight. Barry said they're drying the track right now. Is that right?
Yeah, it looks like they're all getting to their cars here. Track looks pretty darn dry as of 7:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, May 20th, 2020.
Well, that's great. And this past weekend, we had the first race in NASCAR, the return. Turned out pretty well. We actually all did very well on our picks. I had Kevin Harvick, who won the race. Brandon had Kurt Busch, who finished third. Parrott had Martin Truex, who finished sixth. Bear had Eric Jones, who finished eighth. And then Cody had Joey Logano, who was 18th. So to get all five of us in the top 18 and four of us in the top 10 is pretty damn good, actually, in the top 8.
Yeah, and I think I have Kurt Busch tonight, if I recall correctly. So not that eighth, I'm not going to be mad about. I much would have rather had a third.
Yeah, no shit. And to kind of talk about that was Kevin Harvick's 50th win in the Cup Series. He gets to victory lane, and of course, there's nobody there. So, great way to celebrate a 50th win. And I did hear a good stat that they shared there that Ned Jarrett had won the 1965 Southern 500 by 14 laps.
How exactly does one get how does second place 14 laps down? Everyone had to wreck out of that race. Or there was like 8 cars, and Ned Jarrett spun them all out. Twice.
Twice. So they just let him like race with broken cars?
Maybe he had a pit crew and all the rest of the pit crews are out. Every time they stopped, they had to, the driver had to get out and do their own pit stop, change his tires and get gas and all that. I don't know. That's wild. What year was that? Did it say?
1965.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
And I see that somebody with safety glasses decided to join us finally.
It's my regular glasses, bitch.
I never usually see you with glasses on, so it kind of threw me for a loop.
I know, man. I got too lazy today. I didn't switch into my contacts once I got home.
Fuck it, right?
I didn't even have enough energy to change my clothes.
Well, at least you're fucking wearing clothes, so thank you for that.
Right. Tops and bottoms.
No,
so
hoping you weren't wearing bottoms, but all right.
Right. So I think Barry, you tagged me and Brandon in that thing with Portnoy when he was interviewing with Clint Boyer, and then you just see the circle of what Denny Hamlin said. You look like shit, Dave.
Yeah.
And he just said, "Fuck you, Denny Hamlin."
They just showed Denny Hamlin's face mask too, and it's his smile blown up into a mask, so it looks like face. Wild.
Well, that's kind of weird.
It was
all right.
weird. I liked it though.
So today we got another race tonight at Darlington. So by the time people hear this, the race should be over unless it gets postponed or rain delay or whatever. We don't know.
No more rain.
Right. So tonight's race at Darlington again, And Brandon, the updated standings. So Jake, you're at 9, so you're still winning. Bear is at 11.8. Dubs at 14.6. Cody's at 15, and I got down to 16.4. So we're all pretty close. So one wreck can knock somebody back quite a bit because this is only the 6th race of the season. And Brandon gave us, I'll recap who people have tonight.
Thank you.
Denny Hamlin tonight for Dub, Kurt Busch for Bear, Logano for me, Ty Dillon for Cody Bryant, and Eric Jones for the Hornbill, Hornswoggle's cousin, the Hornbill. And so the next 2 races, so Sunday, we've got the Coca-Cola 600, and the next Wednesday, we have another race at Charlotte. So we've got 2 picks to make. Brandon, in this order, he has Kenseth winning the Coca-Cola 600. That'd be awesome to see. Bold strategy. He looked great in this last race. He finished, I think, 10th or 11th. Mm-hmm. And he's got Austin Dillon next Wednesday. So next, Hornbill, who you got for the Coke 600 and then the other race at Charlotte?
I had Alex Bowman written down for the race at Charlotte.
That's a good pick for that 600. And then what about the second race at Charlotte?
Oh, man, I didn't get that far. Give me – who have I picked? Help me here.
So Denny Hamlin, Keselowski, Blaney, Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex, Eric Jones, Alex Bowman.
Give me – I didn't do Logano, right?
No, that's a good pick.
Give me Logano.
All right, so next pick would be Bear.
I'm going to do Truex on Sunday night and Kenseth on Wednesday.
I like it. Cody Bryant?
So it's what, the Toyota 500?
That's tonight.
That's tonight.
Coke 600 Sunday at Charlotte, and then the one the following week. And we've got the sorry, I forgot to cheers. Got the this is the bowl of Fruit Loops, rum chata and loopy, and Busch Light for Bear.
Winning again tonight.
You could. Well, Cody Bryant, while you look, I'll just give mine.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm a guess anyway. So.
All right, so I am agreeing with Bear. Martin Truex is going to win the Coke 600 on Sunday. And then give me Alex Bowman next Wednesday.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
All right, I'm going to go with, Eric Almirola.
Okay.
It's a good pick. He's a solid pick.
And go with Eric Jones.
Who?
Eric Jones.
Eric Jones.
All right. So those are some solid picks. I like them for this week. We'll have updated standings for 2 races going into next week.
Yeah. And also, Gary, just to give before we switch out of NASCAR. So they did announce an extended schedule for the next, I think it was 5 races. So after Charlotte, which is the Charlotte 500K on Wednesday night, then they go to Bristol, May 31st on Sunday. Then Atlanta. Is that going
to be the day race?
Yes, 3:30.
Okay.
And then Atlanta, June 7th, so the next Sunday. And then the Wednesday, June 10th, is Martinsville at 7 p.m. It'll be a night race. Then Sunday, June 14th at Homestead, Miami, 3:30 race. And then Sunday, June 21st, the Geico 500 at Talladega. So those are the next confirmed races that they have. They do, after that, have in both the Poconos, which is Saturday and Sunday, but that is not confirmed yet. They are just confirmed up to 21st for right now. So that's your upcoming NASCAR schedule for the next 31 days.
And those races at Pocono were already scheduled this season. We talked about it at a previous episode that Saturday, Sunday was already planned.
Mm-hmm. So it
pre-pandemic. Yeah, especially with what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Pennsylvania, if they've been more conservative or laid back, or not laid back, but yeah, I guess I would say that laid back on their things there. But it's not till June 27th. So, I mean, we have a whole nother 38 days, a month and a week pretty much. So that gives Pocono plenty of time to prep for weekend of racing, which I'm sure they probably will do.
Yeah, and all 50 states have started to reopen. So, slow reopenings in some states. Our state, has obviously been a little bit more aggressive. We got daycares opening June 1st, so we'll see how things go. I'm going back to my office June 1st. I know Cody Bryant's been in his office. Bear's been in his office. Jake's been in his store. Bear got his hair did. You can see that hair did. I got my hair did too, Bear, at home.
You look great, by the way. I love that style. You're going to have to tell me what gel you use afterwards.
Oh, I will.
You got the Gillette special?
It's that Ben Stiller gel from There's Something About Mary. Oh, God. So we got our picks for tonight's race. Some great races last weekend. And if you want to talk about some great sponsors, we got to thank Brandon Allwear Clothing. Allwearclothing.com can help with all of your clothing needs. I reached out to him about our koozies and stickers, so he's still going to get that going for us. I know we really haven't decided what we're going to do about episode 200. We'll see. I mean, I'm open to, if we do it in person, we can do it. Even if it's just the four of us, who gives a shit, we still got the thing reserved. If we want to do it there, we'll be separated 6 feet apart. If we need to, we can separate all those mics. That's why we got long cords, sanitize everything, and at least have some kind of social distancing enjoyment together, because we haven't seen each other shit in 2 months now at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I've seen the Zazu the Great Hornbill, who you want to give an update on your cart story, your golf cart?
Yeah, there's been no real update on that. I haven't gotten a response back from the lady at the golf course, so I'm still waiting that bill to come to me.
Yeah, I don't know if you got to hear much about that, Cody Bryant.
You buying a golf cart?
No, this son of a bitch ran into a tree.
He is buying one. He's just not keeping it.
Even drunk.
Yeah, he's got maybe potentially a $500 bill to pay for that golf cart.
Oh man!
I'm looking over.
That could be worse.
Yeah, I'm on the green and I look over at him and he's I just hear boom boom boom. He hits a big ass limb on a tree, and you see he's like, it's all good. He gets out. I'm like, dude, the back is off to the side.
Fuck. Hey, I don't even.
I'm surprised they even let you use carts.
That was the best round of golf I think I've ever played.
He did do well. He had 2 birdies in the first 6 or 7 holes. He did very well. He ended up shooting. I think I shot an 81. I ended up with 2 birdies as well. I was hitting, and he can tell you exactly. Like, we played at White Pines. Barry, you're familiar with White Pines. Big dog leg left par 5. I think it's like 12 or 13. I told him, I said, if you can get it out 230 out into the fairway, you got clear distance to the green. And he can tell you, I hit it 245, right, perfect dead center, and then hit a nice 4-iron right to the green. So I got right below the green. If there's a gully right there, and if that gully wasn't there, would have rolled up on a green, but ended up punching it on, getting a bird on that. So I think I had 2 or 3 birdies that day, which was a good day, and we had some fun.
I stayed within a stroke or 2 of you through the first 9 holes or 10 holes, I think.
The best thing is you had 2 birdies in the first like 5 or 6 holes, but I was still beating you. That's the best part. He went double bogey, birdie, double bogey, birdie, and I was either par or bogey. I played some pretty damn good golf. I was pretty happy that day. Uncle, he started off a little rough, and he ended up going up to the tees in front of us. He is older. He hit shorter distance than us anyway, so we let him move forward. And then he actually played, I think the back 9, I shot a 41, and he shot I think 43.
Nice.
And but that front 9, he shot a 50, so he ended up with a 93. And I know Parrott, he was like 40. I think you were 43 on the front, something like that, 42, 43, and then you ended up with the 51 on the back. I know it got a little rough after you hit that tree.
No, it got a little rough after I drove the ball 320 yards down the fairway.
Oh, dude, I gave that motherfucker so much shit. He drove it. I drove it maybe like 240. I skied it, and I ended up parring a birdie in that hole, and he ended up bogeying or double bogeying after his 315-yard drive.
That's usually how that goes. Trust me.
That's what I told him too. He gets up there. I told him, I was like, "That's a great drive, but you got to finish, my man."
Mm-hmm. Can't tell you how many times I've done that.
It's an awful feeling.
How many times you didn't finish?
I always finish. 60% of the time, every time.
That's right. So back to go ahead. Go ahead, man.
I did that my first round of Heather Downs I played a couple weeks ago. That first hole is only 380, and I drove it 25 yards from the green on my first drive after telling these people. Now, the wind was at my back, so I'm not going to brag too much on it. But we got paired up. Cody and I got paired up with these two people. I'm not going to say older couple, middle-aged couple. They were probably 40s. Very nice people. But I told them, I'm like, this is my first ball of the year, so I haven't really swung a club since September, besides the range I just did. And I go and I put it 25 yards from the green and maybe it works sometimes. Can't do much more than that.
That's what it's all about, man. I mean, golf is golf. If you have a good day, a bad day, it's still fun. I've been lucky. I've been out 4 times this year, and I've shot in the 80s. I think all 4 times. One of them, though, I was hitting 2 balls, so I think I would have shot probably in the low 90s. But I've been hitting great this year, and I know you guys. Now that you guys are on here, I know I sent it to our group, but I did enter us into the Pollock Open, which is something that Andy Pollock had put together that we've done every year for the past few years. And he did it with his dad. His dad passed away I can't remember when. I don't know if you do, Bear, but I know he does it in his honor still. And this is the last year for the Open. And he said, it's still going on. And I said, I'm not going to I'm not doing shows this year. They're canceled. So go ahead and put us a team in. So it's going to be the 4 of us going. If I know Bear and I are in, so if Cody and Parrot are in.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked you how much. You never got back to me.
Well, I didn't know you said how much. It's usually, I think it was about $80-$85, but it included dinner and drinks and all that shit.
I think it was 80 if I recall.
Yeah, and it was worth it. And he hasn't sent me, I said, do you need me to send you a check? He put us in there. They usually do a theme. I don't remember what the theme is this year, but we usually don't do the theme.
I think it was Hawaiian.
So maybe I'll wear a Hawaiian shirt with my OTL Sports podcast shirt, on that. We'll get Parrot to wear a skirt, grass skirt.
We need to get our OTO koozies before then.
Yeah, I mean, we should. That is July 11th. That's the Saturday before episode 200. So as long as we do that, we might be together a couple weeks in a row. It's too bad we couldn't record the podcast while we're fucking doing golf. That would be fantastic.
I mean, we could.
Yeah.
It would be hard to record it, but yeah, we can do it.
We could probably put Audacity on a tablet and just hook up a mic and somebody's got it talking in the mic every time.
Just go around with a GoPro or something.
Could record it now, but yeah. So that's July 11th, the Pollock Open, 25th anniversary, and the last. I don't know if he's still doing the day before, where he's doing a golf outing. That's the Friday before. I don't know if he is. I'll talk to him more and reach out. But to get back, now that we've gone down this rabbit hole, thank you to Brandon at All Wear Clothing. AllWearClothing.com can help with your koozies, shirts, banana hammocks, sweatpants, hats. Maybe he might even put a fade into your hairline for Bear. Anything you can think of, he will do for you. Again, Brandon, AllWearClothing.com, first and primary sponsor of Over the Line Sports Podcast. All right, so we've got baseball getting ready to they want to announce their plans to reopen. And Parrot, I think you have that, don't you?
Yeah, so they're gonna pretty much how they're gonna do this is they're gonna monitor all the local markets around the country to see what numbers are kind of staying down where they can actually host these. Then they're gonna just obviously they're going to keep their distance, and there's a list I had earlier saying, but Detroit was one of the top 5 worst places right now throughout the whole country for MLB facilities, which kind of blew my mind considering New York, the Mets and the Yankees were up there. With two California.
Well, that's why. No, I was just going to say that Detroit's had so many cases in there. I think there's, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's 3 counties that Detroit is a part of, the city, and like Wayne County. There's another couple counties, and they had a shit. Is it Wayne? So I thought they have those surrounding counties. And they have the surrounding counties too up there. And I know that they had a shitload of cases, and that's why Lucas County had dealt with so many cases of COVID this year. And, we saw a lot of deaths in Lucas County. So that doesn't surprise me, Parrott, that they have that right now, as Detroit's one of the 5 worst. And like you said, probably Shea Stadium, Yankee Stadium. And do you have the other 2 that were in that bottom?
Trying to get this list open right now. I accidentally closed the browser earlier, but give me a second here.
We don't look at browsers. We know this offhand, man. We do our research.
Well, most of us do. There's a reason why he was demoted from Stat Parrot.
No. Yeah, now he got demoted to being on the show. It's all right, Parrot.
Didn't they try to use Arizona as a potential spot too?
Yeah, to have like
all the spring training, facilities there.
For several of the teams, they wanted to do that out there. Right. But I think Mike Trout, I believe, said that they'd have to do testing every day, is what he felt, in order for them to feel safe.
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting. I mean, they wanted them to test every day, and they all had to have separate hotel rooms,
right?
And all this. They wanted to put on where you couldn't be next to each other on the bases, so it's kind of like there's no way that would work. I mean, you have to be able to pick somebody off,
right?
You can't just stand away from them. I think their baseball is getting a little too crazy with their. Just make it like football wants to. Test your people. If they show symptoms, they show signs, you're out for 2 weeks. Done. Simple as that. Boom. Okay. On to the next. You want to test them every day? Not that bad. All you got to do is put a thermometer up to someone's head. It literally takes 2 seconds.
So before Parrott goes back to this MLB thing, Bear, do you know, I know the race is getting ready to start, how they determined qualifying?
Yeah, so they just flipped the top 20. That's all they did. So since Priest finished 20th, he got the pole. So everyone. And then the 21 through 39 is where they just finished there, which is why Stenthouse is last. Jimmy's down there, Byron's down there. So 21 through the rest of the field was just where they finished. The top 20 they flipped.
And then they're supposed to do, I think this weekend, they actually have qualifying scheduled for the Coke 600. Is that right?
Yes, I'm pretty positive. I don't know if they'll go to this or not, if that's their plan for maybe just Wednesday races. I don't know. Okay. But it's possible.
Yeah, because that first race that came back, I think they just let them basically just did like a draw. That's how Kozlowski got the pole.
Yeah, it was a random draw. I mean, I think it was based on points, who was wearing points. They got more in the, kind of almost like the NBA lottery for the most part. It just would have been funny if Smithly or whatever got the fucking pole.
Oh, Garrett Smythe.
Yeah, it just would have been funny, Get a slow car up there, but yes.
Yeah, he goes from first to 10th in a lap.
10th? He'd probably be first to last in a lap.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Or he could be like Jimmy Johnson, just run into the back of somebody trying to win the stage.
We didn't even talk about that. Yeah, he had the fucking stage one, and he ran into the back of somebody and took himself out of the race. What the fuck was that?
I had 0 Jimmy Johnson. It was fantastic.
Parrot, do you have your shit yet?
No, the only thing I was going to add to that is that I did see that the commissioner and everyone, they want to have in excess of 200,000 tests on hand before they proceed with anything too.
Well, if they're trying to test every day, that's not that many.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the
Right.
start. I want to have them on hand and without interfering with the public accessing all the tests.
Well, there'll be no MLB this year, guys.
That
I
wouldn't
think-
break my heart.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here is going to care.
I mean, the only
I
thing
care.
the only reason why I want MLB to play is because it's such a huge gambling aspect on DraftKings, and I got some money in the DraftKings stock, so I want them to play this year, so we can I can make a little bit of money.
I mean, I won't care until August, but I'd still care.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, you know. And Parrot, I found your stats for you, so I did your homework for you. Yeah, the Mets and Yankees are worst. The Washington Nationals, not surprising, in District of Columbia is or DC is up there. The Phillies, Philadelphia, up there as well. So they're talking, and the Detroit Tigers, as you said, the White Sox and Boston, or the White Sox and Cubs, and then the Boston Red Sox. So they're all up there. You've got the Yankees and Mets are obviously have the worst number of cases. Then Boston, so that's 1, 2, 3. Then the Cubs and White Sox. Then the Tigers. Then the Phillies, and then the Nationals. And that's saying how many cases there are per 100,000 people. So the worst right now is 3,000 cases per 100,000 in New York. Granted, they're so behind on testing, so we really have no fucking clue how many people have COVID-19 or did. I mean, some of us, I know we played poker back in the day in February, and I was like death sick. I was like, you know, you look back and reflect, like, maybe I could have. I don't know, because right after that, Kelly got deathly sick, and that was the worst we had both either felt, and we knew nothing about COVID. But you look back in hindsight, like, it makes you wonder.
It's almost what leads me to believe that when they say a second wave's going to come, that this is the second wave.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody
knew anything about it
in January. Just saying.
And that's, you know, and they said in Ohio, this probably likely came around in December.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of people sick at work the week or the couple days after Christmas, or the week in between Christmas and New Year's, and it was the same thing. You know, a lot of them said they had half the symptoms and all of that. I mean, but they did the smart thing and they didn't come to work. They knew that they felt like shit, so they called off.
Yeah, I went to the doctor because I usually don't go to the doctor when I'm sick, but I felt so terrible. And that can tell you, because I don't go to the doctor for anything. And I went, and because I had like broken out, because my body was like fighting something. You know, I had broken out in different spots. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I think that's herpes.
Yeah, that was it.
Has it broken out every month since then?
It was on the arms.
Oh, well, definitely herpes.
Yeah, I was rubbing my arm on, you know, some vaginas and just didn't care. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
exactly
that?
it. Fortunately, people can't see this fucking video.
God, I wish I could. boogity, boys, let's go racing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. What do they even say now?
Well, Daryl doesn't do it, so I don't say anything. I just think they're excited to go. Well, Ty Dillon takes the lead right off the bat. I love it.
Right off Priest. There we go. So, all right, that's it for NBA or MLB, excuse me. So we got to thank another sponsor, of course. And so let's thank, I don't know, we can pick one. Crandall's Quality Landscaping. Sean at Crandall's Quality Landscaping serves the Toledo and surrounding areas, and not
Darlington, South Carolina.
There we go. I don't even have to point at the map. Darlington, South Carolina. So thank you, Sean. All right. So we have some NBA stuff. The return rules are expected to come on June 1st. What do you anticipate they are going to say, Bear?
I anticipate that they're going to probably go right into the playoffs. I don't remember the standings, so I'd have to go back and look, but maybe they'll give teams that are on the bubble or close a couple games, maybe give them like 7 games, 2 weeks, get a day off in between each to potentially grab that playoff spot, but then pretty much get right into the playoffs. I think if they would be my guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's kind of like the NHL is talking about doing a 24-team playoff. I wouldn't be surprised if the NBA did something like that. It'd be fun, but we'll see. I mean, and then you have people that were, had no business of being there. There might be a few East teams that would be in, but I think it'd be fun and allow people to get in and just see what they can do. I mean, you probably give the first couple teams a bye week a bye series, and the rest just vie to get in essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it. Even if they did that, went right to the playoffs with that. I don't know if the NBA would do 24 teams, but maybe they do 20, give the first 4 seeds a bye, and then the first games are all 5-game series like it was back in the day, old school style. Not all 7-gamer. We get into 7 games as we go on, but do the first couple 5-game series.
Yep. The Cody, you got anything on that? What you think?
They better not expand it. There's too many. I mean, you got to think. You look at the East. Half the conference shouldn't even be in the playoffs to begin with. I mean,
true.
If they do that, I mean, that's kind of more of a waste of, that's kind of a waste of time and resources or whatever they're gonna do. And I don't know. If it's me, I go straight into the playoffs. Give the bubble teams or whoever's out on the fringe, just let them play in and call it a day, and then go from there. I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with it being 7-game series all the way through if you're just going to use playoff teams. And if you're going to do that, last I seen, they're looking at Orlando right now and using Disney World as a potential spot to finish out the season.
Oh, like that Wide World of Sports area?
Yeah. Which is a beautiful place, even after the upgrades that they've done to it right now. We were able to see it last summer. I took the family down to Disney, and I mean, it looks immaculate. So, I mean, I could see, them using Disney World. You have, players want to bring their families. They got enough room. They can bring their families. You don't need necessarily a ton of people to have a basketball game. So, I don't know. I can see probably a shortened season or finished out just playoffs with the playoff teams and get a champion crown from that, I guess. So I guess it's all starting to boil down to the money.
It's always about that money.
Oh yeah, which I mean, to me, like I don't. That's why I don't see a MLB season happening right now.
We'll see. So with of course we got to talk about episodes 9 and 10 of The Last Dance. So before we throw that out there, and we'll get into this, because I've got talking points for us. So Jordan went 631 games without losing 3 games in a row from November 1990 till November 2001, which is absolutely insane. I know that's when he got with the Wizards and pre-championship all the way to the Wizards. So those championship Bulls teams, he had never lost 3 in a row.
Very impressive. I mean, can't say much about that.
He went 6 years without a game 7 too.
Yeah, no shit. That's nuts. And something else I found funny is the names of players at their hotels. So did you guys see that list that was published?
Mm-mm.
So for the hotel names, I'll just take, some of the main guys. So Ron Harper went by Peter Parker at hotels. Scott Burrell went by yeah. Randy Brown, I liked his. He was Fred Sanford.
Scott Burrell could have been Scott Burrell. No one would know who the fuck he was.
Right.
Yeah, he was he was Tyson. He was Tyson Bedford. Michael Jordan was Oscar Miles. Steve Kerr was Austin Powers. Tony Kukoc was Tony Kukoc. Luke Longley was Stagger Lee.
God.
Scottie Pippen was Johnny Walker.
Why isn't Nemechek out there? Motherfucker just wrecked again. Get him off track.
The Scottie Pippen was Johnny Walker. Yeah, he did. I just caught up to it on there. So I found that funny that they had these names, which was great. So first thing, a big thing here, Pacers.
Whoa. How does that not lead into what would your hotel name be if you were
fine? Go ahead. All right, fine. Since you brought that up, what's your hotel name?
Bear Covington.
And mine's similar. It's my lottery name, Marcus Wellington IV.
This sounds like a rich person.
Yeah. What do you got, Cody Bryant or Parrot?
I'd be Parrot Jackson.
It's terrible.
Yep.
It's not believable.
No, I'd be Tony Foxborough.
Oh, shit. Really? So hold on. I got to go back to Parrot. Why Parrot Jackson?
I put it into my head.
Well, so we'll just call you PJ?
Yep.
Jesus. So episode 9 had a big emphasis and focus on, the games with the Pacers, Reggie Miller, all of those guys. Larry Bird, I did love myself what he said to Larry afterwards. You called him you bitch and said, fuck you.
You're a bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, that Pacer squad was deep, man. They had a nice team. I don't know. They just didn't have enough shooters, I don't think, to be able to beat them. They had that squad at that time. They had Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Chris Mullen, Antonio Davis, Dale Davis, Jalen Rose coming off the bench, Travis Best coming off the bench, Rick Smits playing center. I'm trying to think. Their bench wasn't, I don't know, outside of Jalen Rose and Travis Best, I mean, their bench wasn't necessarily all too strong, at least down low, because I think the Davises were starters. But, they had a pretty strong team, though.
And they had the best coach.
To where, they should have won.
Well, the second best coach.
Yeah, you're right. I do like how they did bring that up. The obvious that we know is just put the camera on Larry Bird because he knew.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew from playing with Michael. He looked up. He didn't. He's like, there's still almost 2 seconds on the clock, and that ball almost went in.
Yeah.
And he had a double pump on that.
Yeah, he double pumped, and it still almost went in.
It didn't look like he got it off, but as I watched it more and more, like the first time they did, I was like, he didn't get that off. And then you ended up seeing that he did clearly get it off. But I was like, how did he have the time to just get that shit? I mean, it just looked like he wasn't even close, but he put it out. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was him. And then the big controversy surrounding the flu game, and he says it right off the bat, it wasn't flu, food poisoning.
Right.
That's an
talks about that pizza. The guy, yeah, no shit. The guy that the guy came back that worked at that Pizza Hut and said it was bullshit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should have said that 20 years ago.
Well, this is my thing. This is my thing on it is there's only two things. One, it's an inside job. Or two, some dumb motherfucker, and it could have been Michael, called up and said, yes, for Jordan. No one goddamn staying in Utah in a hotel or one of his personal assistants did something stupid like that. Like, there's only two options there. That's it. That's just not coincidence. Last time
I think he was probably just
a couple of us.
I think he was probably just hungover.
Yeah, well, that too. That's the other That's the other thing is like, yeah, people said food poisoning, but a lot of people said nice little bourbon or whiskey hangover too. But
Right.
last time I checked, a couple of us worked in the food industry business delivering pizzas, and it didn't take 5 of us to deliver a pizza.
Right.
I think the only time you see 5 people delivering a pizza is in a certain type of movie.
A bukkake movie?
Something like that.
We're going to give her the extra cheese.
The extra sausage pizza today.
With the extra sauce. Special recipe. So speaking of which...
I think they knew.
I agree.
Somebody knew something.
Speaking of which, Bear, since
it wasn't food poisoning.
Yeah, go ahead. If it wasn't food poisoning, what was it?
Oh, no. Hennessy.
So Bear, since you mentioned it's a certain kind of movie, what would be in that kind of genre your name for that?
BDB. Think you know what that stands for?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
and for myself, for myself, it was real easy. Richard Hertzer.
Walzak had the best built-in one.
Oh, Dick Tournament.
Dick Tournament.
No, that was great stuff. So what? Let's talk about this this whole thing with Rodman going on WCW with the NWO. What's your thoughts on that, Cody? We'll start with you.
You know what, man? We should have did this whole thing on Rodman, honestly. Like, I mean, Rodman is, if Jordan is the GOAT, then Rodman is up there with him. Damn it. Like, he goes to Vegas during the playoffs. So anybody can go to Atlantic City. Rodman goes to Vegas. You know, or was that during the season? Is that during the season or the playoffs?
I think it was during
the first time.
It was
during the season.
Yeah, I remember it was like mid-year because he just needed a couple days off.
Yeah, so he goes to Vegas, needs some time off. Like, yeah, man, I'm kind of burnt out, need some time off. I'm going to Vegas. Goes to Vegas, and then goes to Nitro, wrestles, skips practice, goes to Nitro, throw a couple chairs, party a couple nights, comes back, gives Karl Malone the work. Like, if that ain't GOAT status, man, I don't know what else is.
And didn't get punished or anything.
Yeah, didn't get punished or anything. And came back and had a great game.
You know what? One of the quotes out of that, I don't think it was on the documentary. I think I just saw it on Twitter. But one of the quotes out of it, and it was an unknown source, but one of them said, "Yeah, who else was pulling down 20 boards in that era? That he ain't getting suspended for that."
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Especially in the finals.
Right.
And let's not forget that they won Game 3 right before that. Yeah, the night before that, 96-54.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. And when they brought that back up, I was like, oh my God, how did the Jazz score? I mean, how does any professional basketball team score 54 fucking points? That's insane. The Warriors almost did it in a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. It's that was nuts to see. So what about so here's my thing with that last game with the Jazz. When Jordan hits that last shot and they say he pushed off and all that bullshit. I know, this is what I'm going with. If he pushed off, then Reggie is 1,000% guilty and pushed off.
Neither of them pushed off. It's basketball. It's physical.
That was not a push off. And then Byron Russell actually played better defense. He wouldn't have got caught like that.
Well, that's exactly what he said, because it was right. He got caught running. He got caught
overplaying. Yeah. He
got beat on the
same shot.
He had to. He didn't have it's Michael Jordan. He has to. I'd have to go back, but I don't think he had weak side help either. Like, he had to do that. It was man on man. He didn't have a choice.
He should have known what was coming. He got beat on that same move. I think the first game of the series.
Yeah. Well,
And that was the last the first like buzzer beater Jordan had at the finals against the Jazz. It was like game 1 or game 2, and he hit him with that same jab step, drive to the middle, corner jumper, stop pop, and got him with that once before. Like, how are you not waiting for that?
oh yeah, and I mean, it was funny too because that buzzer beater that Jordan had in '98, Kerr had the same one in '97 from the same spot. That's the craziest thing. Top of the key, both of them top of the key. I mean, it was crazy that the Jazz lost both series on the same shot 2 years in a row to the same team. That's
top of the key.
And we didn't even talk about.
Yeah, even Steve.
Right,
Kerr.
we didn't even talk about Steve Kerr.
Yeah, that was crazy. I didn't know all that with his dad.
Yeah,
me either. That shit was crazy.
That's just to make Steve Kerr look more like a tough guy. You know, not only did he lose his dad like Jordan, but he stood up to Jordan too. Punched him all in the eye and everything.
See, that's the thing is I've always had Steve Kerr was always my favorite. Like, he was one of the first guys I look up to playing basketball as a little white kid. So like, as he was signing, like, the first highlights you see were Kerr. So even though he beat the Cavs a couple times, I still always respect him because, and just the way he is too. He's a no bullshit kind of guy. He just tells it how it is, sort of thing. So I've always liked that, but I know all that shit about his dad and everything. So that was kind of crazy.
Oh, there, I just happened to look at my NASCAR team too. I do have John Hunter Nemechek. God damn it!
Well, better luck Sunday.
Yeah, I'm minus 21 points right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's
you got Sunday, and then next Wednesday. You got all this time to make it up. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's a 50-point swing. I'm still in second right now, but Big Boss is 60 points ahead of me.
That's Jason.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
God, fucking cocksucker, motherfucker. Damn Jason. Anyway, so the few things. After they won that sixth championship, I caught it today in the documentary that Rodman did the crotch chop to the crowd. I caught that. Yeah, thought that was great. And I think David Stern said it best. The Michael Jordan's influence on the game. They went from the NBA was in 80 countries in 91, and they're in 250 countries. Like, Jordan just had this huge impact on the game.
That's huge, man.
And then so Reinsdorf, they talked about the breakup of the team, and then Jordan responded about them saying, well, even if he went 82-0, Phil Jackson, that he was gone either way. And Phil, they wanted him to come back, and Reinsdorf wanted him to come back, and he said no. And each guy would have had, like Jordan said, signed 1-year deals. Everybody would have.
Reinsdorf didn't want anybody to come back. That was the problem. He just used Jerry Krause as the fall guy, which is what all owners do. They always use the general manager as the fall guy, and then later on say, well, I would have loved for everybody to come back. But this is also the same Jerry Reinsdorf that MLB owner, Chicago White Sox owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, let as an owner, let the MLB go on strike in '94 when the White Sox were, I believe, in first place in the division and had a good chance of going to the World Series that year, coming out of the American League.
Good point.
Because he didn't want to pay anybody. What's that? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, he said that, guys like Steve Kerr and Horace Grant would have been above market value. Okay, fine. Sign them to a 1-year deal. Like Jordan said. But, as if, you were willing to do that.
Good point.
That was the thing. He wasn't willing to do it.
Well, and they make the fall guy the dead guy who can't even defend himself. So
Right.
You're never going to get that side of the story. You just get what they're going to tell you.
Right.
That was screwed up on their part, and but it is what it is. Some of these things we hear one side of the story, but I think we hear most of it because most of the players agreed on everything that was said in that documentary, except Horace Grant.
Yeah, which I believe him more than anybody else. Like anybody else that they didn't comment on, and especially with the stuff about Jordan, like being a hard ass and threatening to fight people and all that shit. I don't believe not one word of that shit. Only stuff I do believe is when Steve Kerr popped him back in the eye. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, for every story that you hear of Jordan, yelling at somebody or trying to fight somebody at practice, there's 2 stories of somebody that didn't let that shit fly with them. There's a story that's floating around out there. Bill Cartwright didn't let that shit fly.
Yeah. He didn't mess with him or fucking Wennington. Garrett fucking T.
Yeah.
The only person that let that shit fly was Scott Burrell. That's it.
Exactly.
Even fucking BJ Armstrong wouldn't have let that shit fly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a story that BJ Armstrong didn't let it fly. I guess there's a story BJ Armstrong pulled him off to the side and told him, "Don't do that shit again." So I don't know. I heard a story last night about Jordan. I guess he stepped up to Robert Parrish once, and he told Robert Parrish to his face he was gonna kick his ass. And Robert Parrish took another step closer to Jordan and said, "Go ahead and try."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Robert Parrish would have fucked him up.
Like, that's the same dude that just hauled off and stole on Bill Laimbeer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's a good point. Do you think, I'll start with you, Parrott, because you've been, or Hornswoggle's cousin, Hornbill. Start with you. Do you think that the Bulls would have won a 7th title if they all came back?
I believe they could have. I think they should have gotten that shot. I mean, it sucks that they had to break up. It would have been cool to just see if they could have gone for 7 or even 8, But I mean, what happened, and Jordan's the only guy to repeat twice. So, I mean, you can't discredit what they did or what they could have done. But it would have been cool to see.
Yeah, I was going to say Bill Russell didn't have to 3-peat. He 10-peated or whatever the fuck however many they wanted in a row. What do you guys think, Barry? Think they would have got to that 7th?
Yeah. Did you see who won the next year?
The Spurs.
Spurs.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They would have ran. Rodman would not have been able to match up with Robinson. Sorry. And young Duncan, man. I mean Duncan in general, but young Duncan, Jordan would have had to do a lot. And if you saw some of them stat lines of Jordan putting up 38 and the rest of putting up 82 points total and winning 82-80, and Jordan had 38, that shit wouldn't have fly with them Spurs. Granted, they got Kerr, so Kerr still would have been in Chicago, so that changes a little bit, assuming he stays. But I think they would have I think they would have made it there. I just don't think they would have won. I think the young Spurs team would have got them.
I agree with you there.
You know what? If everything stays the same, if they keep that team together and everything stays the same, I think they win that 7th title that year, and that would have been their only shot. Because I mean, you think, let's see, Rodman, but then I don't even know that would have been their best shot. And I think maybe they would have. Do you think that was a strike shortened or lockout shortened season? And Kerr's still on that team. Maybe Rodman's still there. I think if anything, they might trade Pippen. But then who do you trade Pippen to, and what do you get back for him? I don't know. It's just I don't know, man. I think that'd probably be their best chance, and it would probably be them and the Spurs, and I think maybe they beat the Spurs in 7 with that same team that they had.
They could have.
That's if everything stays the same. 'Cause, I mean, that Spurs, the backcourt the Spurs had, or their backcourt couldn't match up with the Bulls' backcourt.
That's a valid
at
point.
least at that point in time. I mean, I think Kerr went to San Antonio. So, I mean, if he stays in Chicago, that's a whole nother thing. And then you got Tony Kukoc still out on the wing. So I think maybe they just slide Tony Kukoc in the Pippen spot and maybe get some guys to come off the bench. And, you kind of see what happens.
Very true. Very possible.
So I think that probably would have been, I don't know, man. It's just, you never know. It'd have been nice to see, though.
Yep.
But then Jordan had planned on retiring. But I think if Jordan didn't plan on retiring, that rest he would have had going into that season, man, I don't know, dude. I don't think anybody would have stopped him.
Very possible.
It would have been interesting. I mean, they would have ran through the same people, the Knicks and the Pacers. So,
yep. And who ended up going to that final against San Antonio? Was it the Magic?
The Knicks.
No, the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks did.
8th seed.
Oh shit! They were the 8.
They were the 8 and made it to the finals.
Holy shit! So the next 4 years after this, the Bulls finished last in the conference.
Yeah,
rebuilding.
At the end of the documentary, you saw what it said. It said then they started rebuilding, and they've been rebuilding since then.
Right, they've been struggling to put a foundation together.
They couldn't do it before Jordan, and haven't been able to do it after Jordan.
Right.
If that franchise never had Michael Jordan, it probably wouldn't be the Chicago Bulls anymore. It would probably be the North Dakota Bulls or something, because they wouldn't have.
Yeah, no shit.
You never know. Maybe they do move. Well, I don't know, man. If Reinsdorf still owns the team, so I don't know, man. But if you don't know, if you didn't know why Jordan was called the GOAT, then now you know.
Mm-hmm. And you see it.
Like, no disrespect to LeBron, but this is why.
Yeah. At least the Cavs had a playoff team every now and then without LeBron. Early.
Right. And they were and the Cavs were a legit playoff team before he got there too,
Yeah. They just sucked for 5 years.
Even though they gave like a right. And they kind of fucked up, gave a shit ton of money to Hot Rod Williams, but hey, we all make mistakes.
Yes, they do. So this question is specifically for Bear and Zazu, because I already know how Cody Bryant feels. So after seeing this, is Jordan the GOAT?
I'm not answering that question.
All right. Zazu.
Plead the fifth.
We can do that.
I'm just too biased to answer that question. I respect everything he's done. I mean, they're the top 2 of all time. I just have an answer to who I think is better, because they're both better in their own different ways, and they do different aspects of the game better in different ways than each other. You can't compare them. I don't like that question.
Don't cop out. That's a cop out answer.
I mean, based off of clutchness and finals appearances, it's Jordan. Based off of pure skill and just athletic beastliness, it's LeBron. I mean, LeBron does things that Jordan can't. Sorry, it just never will happen.
LeBron is more athletic than Jordan. He's not as skilled as Jordan. He's more athletic. I mean, he's Jordan with 50 pounds of muscle.
Now look up Jordan assists and look up.
I mean, you got to think LeBron.
That's skill and basketball IQ.
LeBron, you don't think Jordan has basketball IQ?
Oh God, here we go.
Why?
How
Because
would Jordan not have basketball IQ?
Because he passed the ball once to Kerr that they had to tell him to.
I guess he was beating plumbers too, right?
I mean, I'm not saying he didn't have basketball IQ. I'm saying LeBron's is better. That was my argument. Overall, as a player, Jordan can't play the 5. LeBron can. I mean, LeBron can play every position on that court.
LeBron couldn't post JJ Barea. JJ Barea.
Oh, okay. So now you're just sounding
Think of what Michael Jordan would do. I'm not sounding like a hater.
You are. You sound like all the rest of the LeBron haters.
Oh,
he couldn't. One time he couldn't.
What the hell?
I could go find a fucking Jordan highlight where he gets fucking roasted by some motherfucker too, and be like, "Oh my God, look, he got dunked on by some no name." Who gives?
You mean to tell me?
Time.
You mean I'm not talking about getting dunked on? I'm talking about
what was that game 2?
He would abuse JJ Barea.
You mean to tell me
the most athletic specimen to ever play basketball couldn't just jab step and jump over JJ Barea from the fucking elbow?
No, he did that. He got called for offensive foul. But he did that and got
then you jump over him.
He had to play that shit.
He jumped over John Lucas III and he jumped over Damon Jones. You mean to tell me he can't jump over JJ Barea?
Okay, I'd like to see anyone jump over anyone on the fucking post. They can't because that's not what they're doing. That's running full speed ahead. It's totally different. That's just a silly argument.
Vince Carter jumped over a dude in the Olympics.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jordan dunked on Ewing too, but he had a running start. He didn't jump on him in the fucking post.
Like LeBron should have abused JJ Barea, man. That is a bad look.
Yeah, just like Jordan throwing away 2 balls and getting it stolen to lose in 95 when he came back. But that was rust because he went and played baseball, right? Is that the argument? That's the problem, right? No. If he's the greatest of all time.
No, who said that?
You don't do that shit.
Who said that? Nobody's ever said that. Who's ever said that?
Well, you haven't,
I have
but
never
plenty
heard
of people have.
At any point in time.
That's my point, though, because you're such a Jordan homer. I like Jordan. I'm just saying that's my point. Is that
I'm not a Jordan homer.
Nobody points out Jordan's flaws. Everyone points.
I'm not a Jordan homer.
Fucking sneezes on the court.
Yeah, LeBron's got corona.
Just saying.
Jordan had a bunch of flaws.
There was Twitter
Jordan
around.
was a terrible 3-point shooter. He's
a terrible teammate. When Jordan was playing, he would have got roasted too. That's the difference between what's going on right now. As simple as that. It's social media.
That has nothing to do with it.
Social media has a lot to do with it.
Jordan nothing to do with it.
Well, here, look at this, and I think there's a good point there.
Look at how they after Jordan's dad died. Look at how they trashed him, and that's without social media. They blamed him for his father getting killed for years, for at least 2 years. How is that? That's before social media. Like, they trashed him for going to Atlantic City during a playoff series.
Yeah, but
they trashed him for going to play baseball.
Our argument's on the court. It's not personal life.
No, you're talking about we're talking about if social media was around with Jordan and the things that he did.
But I'm talking.
That's what you guys are saying.
Strictly on the court is what I'm talking about, because that's why it's blown up. Because all this Barea shit, because people can go and do all that. It's very easy to find videos nowadays. You got to search for stuff, and people don't like doing that because that's lazy work.
You can find just as many videos of Jordan.
Do you not listen when I
can find all kinds of
people
videos
have
of
to
Jordan.
search for that shit. They don't do that. They pull someone else's video and put in our tagline.
Exactly, but the people that are saying that aren't searching. But that's the thing. The people that are saying that type of stuff aren't looking for videos of Jordan. Hell, John Starks used to give Jordan that work every time they played. Every time. John Starks used to give Jordan a business. Freaking the Knicks used to give Jordan a business. The Pistons gave Jordan a business. And then on top of that, beat him down. The Celtics used to give Jordan a business. Like Dennis
Now you're going
Johnson.
back to because it was more physical then. LeBron drives the lane like they did back then.
No, I'm not. No,
gotta
that's
change
not
your
what I
game that
said.
way.
I'm not talking
Dude,
about.
you're talking about giving
play.
them the business,
No,
though.
I'm not talking about. Yes, I'm talking about defense. I'm not talking about anything about physical play. Dennis Johnson was one of the best defensive guards in the league, if not in NBA history. He was not a physical. He didn't play physical defense like that. The Celtics didn't play physical defense. And I got somebody here that'll tell me if the Celtics play physical defense or not like that. And they didn't.
Next. We've skipped around. I tried to stick to one argument, but we've moved all around the board, so I'm done. I can't keep up anymore. So we'll go.
We got our Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman here. I like it.
It has nothing to do with anything. I'm just making a point, but it turned into 18 different things, so I'm out. I'm done. Next.
Well, I got a point for every point. Like, what's wrong with me having a counterpoint for your point? Because Uncle Cody
10 times though
was
is my
around
point.
to watch
We're
this
done.
shit.
It don't matter. We're done.
All of a sudden,
Next segment, please.
Like, I'm not hating on LeBron, but this is.
And I'm not hating on Jordan. I'm just making a point.
They're both good players. I love the discussion. Both good players, of course, in their own mind. Thank you for that.
Is the real GOAT.
Yes, he is. And yeah, that's exactly Brian Scalabrine, Celtics rings. He was the player, man. He's the GOAT. God, but
is that the same dude? Or no, never mind. Who's the guy they called a Red Mamba?
Yeah, Scalabrine.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was the dude on the Spurs.
He did play for the Spurs.
He was on the Spurs. Yeah, same guy.
No, you're thinking of Matt Bonner.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, Matt Barnes, Scalabrine, it's all the same.
All the same guy. So while you guys were having your discussion, Parrott and I were having a grammatical argument as well. So thank you for that. So thank you for finishing that. We'll thank a few more of our sponsors so we can carry on because this has already gone an hour. We knew this would, though. So thank you to Brittney at Verizon. Verizon is a true technology business partner, helps local businesses deploy technologies that can positively impact operations and increase revenue for the company. At Verizon, they did not wait for the future.
They build it.
Get in touch with sales rep in your area, Verizon.com. And also thank you to Cassandra at PNC. Visit her at the White House branch or give her a call, 419-877-0634. She can help with all your banking needs, whether it be loans, credit cards, or personal banking. She is there to help. All right, so the NFL Rooney Rule is going to require more interviews, but they tabled the incentives discussion. So we'll find out more about that moving forward. And then Aldon Smith of Dallas Cowboys was reinstated by the NFL. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah.
Fucking DeAndre Baker, Ed Oliver, I think. Dude from the Seahawks, I can't remember. Yeah, people must be getting bored. What I'll never understand is why millionaires have to rob somebody. I guess I'll just never understand that.
A lot of them aren't millionaires, though.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, most of them aren't. Yeah, most of the NFL players aren't millionaires. Some get done paying taxes and trainers and everything else.
Living that luxury life.
DeAndre Baker signed a $5.65 million signing bonus. So if he's not a millionaire, that's his own problem.
Yeah. But we'll see. We had a couple fun questions in here too, or discussion topics. So LeBron was almost a Cowboy back in 2011.
No, the hell he wasn't. LeBron ain't jeopardizing his career to play for the damn Cowboys, man.
Well, I got 11, dude.
That shit sound good. He ain't doing that shit.
He's got that offer.
You got
for 1 year, $4 million.
Yeah, I know, not for 1 year, $4 million, but he's got that
contract.
contract.
That's what I'm saying, man. LeBron is worth more than the whole Cowboys roster. If he had played, what was that? The lockout year?
That was 2011.
Yep. Lockout shortening. So who was there 2011? Just Romo, Witten.
All he needed is Romo.
So one thing, at that point in time, he ain't getting no playing time over Jason Witten. And dude, you're not just no. That shit sound good. Like it's just a nice little sound bite. He wasn't playing no damn football.
I agree. I didn't think they would either.
He wouldn't, but at least he got himself an offer.
Could have.
Right. But Jerry Jones will offer anybody some money to sell some tickets.
Damn right.
About that brand, baby.
They sell a lot of tickets.
You need to look at himself in the fucking mirror over that damn Rooney Rule, which shouldn't even be called the Rooney Rule, because that's just a disgrace and a half anyway.
What would you call it?
Like the Johnny Cochran Rule. Because if it wasn't for Johnny Cochran threatening to sue the NFL, like over the disgraceful shit they've been doing and not giving minorities a chance, like, you know, that was the whole point. And they got to the point where they were going to do depositions, basically kind of like with Kaepernick's case. When it got to the point where they were going to have owners get deposed, that's when they went to go settle. And I think it's a damn shame that they had to have that type of rule put in place in the first place. And then to throw some shit out to incentivize it, it's like you have a league that's damn near 80% made up of minorities, and yet you can't even get a few minorities to be on the coaching staff at anywhere, at any point. Like that's ridiculous, man. Like it's not even the fact that, you know, I'm not even saying that minority coaches are better or worse, but if fucking Eric Mangini can get more than one fucking job, then Hugh Jackson ought to be able to get more than one fucking job. I'm just saying, like
you could have picked Marvin Lewis at least.
Okay, well, Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis was more successful than Eric Mangini. I'm trying to think of something on the level of Eric Mangini. You know, hell, Romeo Crandall should have fucking. There we go. Romeo Crandall should have had a better, like more than one head coaching position, and it shouldn't have been just the fucking Browns. Like it shouldn't take one of the worst ran franchises in the league and one of the cheapest franchises in the league to hire minority coaches. And to say that we're going to give you draft picks, like they can't even bribe themselves into hiring a minority coach anywhere. Like that's disgraceful, man. That's just fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Parrot, you got a couple questions in there. I'll let you ask them.
All right, they're fun. We'll see if you guys know these. Who has the most consecutive NFL regular season losses, and do you know the year?
Well, if it's a year, there's a couple teams that went 0-16.
No, I'm saying like consecutive regular season losses through seasons.
Oh, because you said the year. I got you.
Probably Tampa Bay, like 78 or whenever.
Yeah, you're pretty much just gonna give it to you. It was 77.
How many losses was it?
76 into 77.
Yeah, there we go. What's your other question?
And then who has the most consecutive NCAA football wins in a row in the year?
It's like USC, isn't it, or some shit like that?
Yeah, I think it is still USC. The Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart era.
Did Clemson get up there?
No,
I don't think so yet.
No, fuck. UT is still like third. Toledo had like I think 42 straight wins or some shit like that. They're still up there. I know they are.
Damn.
Well, it's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
47 in a row and starting in 57.
Nice. All right. So before we get into trivia, that's coming up next. We got to thank our last important contributor and sponsor or supporter of the show, Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com.
As we start to get closer to semi-normalcy and some restaurants opening up, at least here in Ohio, maybe reach out to Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com and get that game working again. So when you go out to a restaurant, you can fucking Stenhouse. You can socially distance and talk to that person you may like, try to find yourself a nice little date. But the only way you can do it, it's Busher. It's not even Stenhouse. Sorry, Connell. Reach out to him so you can talk NASCAR to the lady in your life that you're going to find at the bar here in the next couple of weeks, and know that it was Chris Busher who wrecked and not Ricky Stenhouse. You need to know that. So go to datingtransformation.com, get a consultation. Connell will be able to help you out, find that love of your life.
Third coach on the Google, right? Third dating coach on the Google?
Coach on the Google machine.
Here we go. So we are ready for some trivia. Bear, what do you got for the points?
So updated standings. Gary has 410 points. I have 357. Cody Bryant with 341. Parrott with 186. Dub with 29. And Wes with 7.
Damn, Wes is still on the board. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Well, we told Jeremy we are ready and told him we had about 10 minutes, so we'll make sure he's here. It says he's active, so hopefully we see some Jeremy. In the meantime, while we wait for Jeremy and giving us – oh, here he is. He says K. So as I want to jump into something, here he comes. First question of the night is being put out there. Start with an interesting one for 3 points. The famous movie Major League about the Cleveland Indians had shots of the old Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. But which stadium did most of the on-field action from the movie actually take place at? You can just name the city if you do not know the actual name of the stadium.
Oh.
So which stadium had most of the on-field action from the movie?
Oh, man. I always thought it was me.
No, I think it was I'm gonna start. Wasn't it Comiskey Park?
That's a good question. I don't know if it was Comiskey or not.
That's what I'm going with.
I'm trying to think
That's what I'm going with.
Did we lose Zazu, by the way?
That's what it looks like.
Well, I guess he's out. I thought it was, in Detroit, but I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think back to the movie.
Yeah, Major League. Well, wait, Tiger Stadium was still intact in the 90s. Yeah, so that wouldn't be Detroit.
Yeah, they didn't close Tiger Stadium up until what, like 96 or something like that?
I think it was later. I don't think Comerica. I think Comerica opened in 2000, so it would have had to have been right about then.
Oh, so even later than that, yeah. So, and then Tiger Stadium, though, they had the fence. They had like chain link fence.
Yeah, I don't think it was Tiger Stadium.
So yeah, no, I think it's Comiskey Park in Chicago.
I'm gonna say Yankee Stadium just for fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Tiger Stadium just for shits and gigs. 3-point question here. So we'll see what happens. Milwaukee County Stadium.
That would make sense because Bob.
Oh, well, damn.
Movie, of course.
Bob Uecker, yeah.
Should have thought about that one.
Yeah, that's a good question. I like that one. Next up, 3 points. Brandon Cooks had 1,000-yard seasons with the Saints, Patriots, and Rams, so he has a chance to become just the second player in NFL history to have 1,000-yard seasons with 4 different franchises. Who is the only player to accomplish this feat? Hint, he last played in 2018.
Shit. Who is that just got? Or no, wait.
Last played
No,
18.
never mind.
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Because I don't think he's been with 4 different franchises. So
If you're thinking of Randy Moss, no, he hasn't.
no.
That was my first thought.
No, Randy's been gone since what? Randy retired in what, 2015?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit before that.
Yeah, the first person I thought of was T.O., but I'm like, no, he retired earlier than 18.
Right?
Because, he did it with what? Niners, Cowboys, Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. Yeah.
That was it, though. I think there was only 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
he
it
didn't
wouldn't
get a
have been
chance
him.
to do it anybody else. I was gonna say, what was it, Tyreek Hill, but he's only been with the Chiefs and the Browns. So
What? Tyreek Hill's only about the Chiefs.
or what? Who was that? Or Kareem Hunt? My bad.
He didn't have a 1,000-yard season.
Rush. This is wide receivers, not running backs.
Wide receiver.
But it doesn't say that.
Nah.
We just have to assume that it's receiving.
Well, he said, he said Brandon Cook.
Right, Brandon Cooks, but
Yep. That's
I don't know. I'm trying. I can't think anybody that's been. You know what? Nah, you know what, man? I think it might be the immortal Ted Ginn.
Ooh,
He's been in the league since '88.
He's been with 100 different teams too.
Right.
Ted Ginn?
Yeah, I'm going the immortal Ted Ginn.
But he just played last year.
I think so too. Yeah.
Playing
again this year.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh God, man! Thinking back to 18, that's a tough. I got nothing, man. I really do.
Thinking back to someone that's not in the league, that's a really hard question. I guess I'll just throw something out there.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I got anything.
All right, so we'll go with Ted Ginn and nothing. I'll stick with T.O. just for shits and gigs. Brandon Marshall. Oh my God, how do we forget Brandon Marshall?
Brandon Marshall.
I didn't think he played that late.
Yeah.
I knew he played for a bunch of teams. I didn't know he stopped playing in 2018.
That was a good one. Randy Moss, T.O., Tony Martin, Irving Fryer are others that had 3. And finally, last week it took a while, but you guys were eventually able to name the team with the worst defense in the league in regards to points per games allowed. So this week, who has the best defense allowing the least amount of points per game? What sport? I forgot last week.
Basketball?
I'm assuming basketball. Yeah.
I think it was NBA last week.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah.
It's the best defense allowing the least amount of points per game.
So, Cody Bryan, I think you're going to be up first.
All right. I'm going to say the Milwaukee Bucks.
Incorrect. Bear.
I'm going to say the Oof. I'm gonna say the Spurs.
Spurs for Bear. Let's see what we get here. Incorrect. Me, just because it's Jeremy, I'm gonna go with the Jazz. But I like the guess. This week he likes it. Last week he didn't like my guess. Back to Cody Bryant.
Clippers.
Incorrect. Bear. That's a good guess right there. He got it.
Hey, look at that.
5 points for Bear. Celtics were 2. That was going to be my guess, was the Celtics. Damn. Nice. So
I forgot that they're having an under the radar kind of year.
Who's that?
The Raptors.
Oh yeah, for sure. Without Kawhi, I mean, it's nobody's paying as much attention.
Right.
They They were good, but I think everybody kind of expected them to fall off a cliff.
Did you see that?
6 points. Jesus.
Is allowed. That's best in the league.
That's number one.
That's number one. Yeah.
Yikes.
All right. So I got his rant. Here we go. We'll read the rant. So I could not finish the last episode of The Last Dance as it was too painful to watch. As Gorilla would say, it was a miscarriage of justice. Russell probably still has a bruise from the malicious push-off. Oh, Jesus, get out of here.
Tell him check his toes.
And we all know if that exact play happened with the roles reversed, Russell would have been called for pushing MJ. Bullshit, because it happened with Reggie. Reggie's would be considered more of a push than MJ's would. So I'm calling bullshit.
Reggie's would have been a flagrant.
Reggie's what
push-off.
If Jordan's was a push-off, so Reggie was an assault.
Right. That's a flagrant too.
On Jeremy.
They didn't call anything then. They would have been fine.
So that's why. So back to Jeremy. That's why I've never liked the superstars. They are great enough without needing the extra assistance from officials. And can Stockton and Malone get some love for once? Stockton is the all-time assist leader with a record that will never be broken. And Malone is the second leading scorer of all time.
Wasn't a superstar, so he didn't like Malone? Is that what he's saying?
Right. They both played on the dream team.
And they got love. Malone got the MVP.
Right. Malone got the MVP. They both were on the dream team, and they both were named the 50 greatest players.
Well, he does have here, Jeremy. I'm disappointed none of you had at least Stockton on your list last week of starting fives. Sorry. No. And last but not least, give me Bob Cousy. And last but not least, I've got to stick up for Steph Curry, as he's been buried lately on the podcast. He is by far the greatest shooter this game has ever seen.
No, not really.
Even at Davidson, he was unbelievable. I was recording games on VCR tapes, which I still have, and would watch him shoot, trying to recreate this shot. Oh, look. Internet connection's not stable.
They had TiVo when Steph Curry was at Davidson. He lying. No damn VHSs.
Oh, he probably does have them. So to recreate a shot, all the other great shooters such as Ray Allen, Steve Kerr, Kyle Korver, et cetera, they were mainly spot-up shooters and never had the best defender guarding them. Maybe Allen early in his career before Boston, but that's it. Before Durant, Curry always has the best defender or multiple defenders guarding him at all times. He didn't sit in the corner ready to shoot wide open shots like the other great shooters we've seen. The guy is amazing.
What?
I think next season
does he not watch Warriors games?
What?
I think next
favorite picker ever.
Hold on. I think next season he'll prove it when he's carrying that team back near the top of the Western Conference. Have a good one and see you for wrestling. So I disagree. I think you
want to get him first. You want me to get him first.
Oh, well, hold on. I got something to mention here. He just buried his own point about defenders. The best defensive team is 106.5 points. Nobody's playing fucking defense.
No, everybody's shooting threes now.
Is he talking about the same Steph Curry who no one could defend, that Kevin Love shut him down in the finals on the last possession? That same guy? Kevin Love.
Right.
The same
6'10",
Steph Curry. They used to put Kyrie Irving on.
Knee. Oh my goodness. He must have had way too many Busch Lights before he typed that.
Eric, did you
Curry, the same Steph Curry they put James Harden on?
He's not even the best shooter on his team. Klay Thompson's better than fucking Steph Curry. Just because he makes a shot from the stupid tunnel every game and everyone blows him, who gives a shit?
So Parrott came back.
That Ray Allen was like a 3-time All-Star before Boston even thought about signing him?
Yeah, no shit. Parrott, did you go to a new house?
No, I moved rooms. My computer just completely shut down and kicked me off everything. It froze and shut itself down.
He just didn't want us to see him sitting down to pee again.
Yeah. So I'll give you this real quick, Parrott, since we lost you. The movie Major League, which was before your time, where did they film the baseball scenes? Some shots were in Cleveland, in Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, but majority was elsewhere. Do you know where?
Dodger Stadium.
Nope, Milwaukee. All right. So next up, Brandon Cooks had 1,000-yard seasons with the Saints, Patriots, and Rams, so he has a chance to become just the second player in history with 1,000-yard seasons with 4 different franchises. Who is the only other player to get this feat? And the hint was he last played in 2018. Yeah, that was a tough one.
I have no idea.
Brandon Marshall.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, well, none of us did. 2 of us went blank on the guess. All right, so thanks, Jeremy. So there's a documentary. I don't know if you guys saw when you were watching Last Dance, or when you watched the Owen Hart documentary, excuse me, that there's a one coming up that's called One Man in His Shoes. It's this Monday at 8 on Vice. It looks interesting. I think it's about Jordans, right?
No, it's about just basketball shoes in general.
Oh, really?
Like they're gonna go through, at least from what I took, it looked like they were gonna go through like every shoe in basketball. At least I would hope. Because I mean, if you don't have the backstory behind, before even Jordans, then I don't know.
That's a good point.
I mean, granted, hell, if it wasn't for Bird and Magic, you wouldn't have Converse now. Oh, well, hell, you don't have Converse now. So, okay, there you go.
So, next thing, we had the top selling jerseys currently in the NFL. So we had an updated list. So Tua is number 1 and 2, his aqua and his white jersey. Brady is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Gronk is 7. Burrow's black jersey with the Bengals is 8. Gronk's another jersey of Gronk's is 9, and Brady's other jersey is 10. So 5 of the top 10 are Brady jerseys.
Same.
So the Oregon Ducks football team signee Luke Hill was arrested on 8 different charges, one of them being attempted murder of the first degree. I think he's going to be football. I agree. Something good that happened. Chad Johnson helped out a business that reopened after the coronavirus outbreak. $37 bill, gave $1,000 tip, said, "Congrats on reopening. Sorry about the pandemic. Hope this helps. I love you." So that was pretty cool of Chad Johnson.
He's done that a lot, by the way.
It's going to help that waitress or waiter.
That's the only thing that's going to help is that waitress. Hell, or whoever it is, if you want to help them out, pay them a real wage so they wouldn't have to rely on Chad Johnson giving the $1,000 tips.
Hey, man. Some people make good wages if they're good waiter or waitresses. Not those ones at the quality place of Waffle House.
Waitress or waiter wouldn't be a full-time job either, but
Right.
True.
As I say, it shouldn't be a full-time job.
That's why McDonald's people shouldn't get $15 an hour. They couldn't even get my food right the other day.
I say you can't get fucking food orders right. You deserve $15 an hour. If I tell you I want a plain cheeseburger with no pickle, no ketchup, and I only get half a bun, you don't deserve fucking $15 an hour. All right.
Yeah, no shit.
True story.
So Tom Brady, this was a good thing. Friendly reminder. Tom Brady is 6-3 in Super Bowls and 32-3 versus the Bills. So he's lost the same amount of Super Bowls as games versus the Bills. That was a fun stat. Mac McClung, you guys remember him of when his high school days when he was just this amazing dunker back in the day?
Mac McClung. Oh, the dude at Georgetown. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's withdrawing from the NBA draft, and he's going to enter the transfer portal. Probably a good decision.
Well, you can't just be a dunker, man. That's been shown. You can't just come in here dunking on everybody. You get in the league, everybody can jump just as high as you can.
No shit. And then Talia Tagovailoa, I can't remember if we mentioned last week, he's going to Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
On Andrew Hawkins, I thought this was fucking great. So he said he had his own flu game. He said, "My second year in the league, wild card playoffs versus the Texans, I got sick as fuck. 102-degree temperature. Had to switch my room so I wouldn't get AJ Green sick. All I was thinking is, I'm going to MJ flu game on him. I had 2 catches for 15 yards and a fumble. We lost."
Yo, by the way, too, if you get the chance, find him on Twitter and look up his videos on The Last Dance. Oh my God, they're the funniest just his spoof of it, it's one of the funniest things ever. You will laugh your ass off.
Andrew Hawkins?
Yeah, he did the last one. He played like every part as a documentary. So, and he was in like different, like he would do it as Rodman. He had a Barons jersey for Jordan, one of them. But he did his Scotty. Scotty voice is great. And then it came to BJ Armstrong, and he put his kid in there. Oh, it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, man.
It was hilarious.
Oh, we're going to have to check that out. NHL playoffs, as we mentioned, 2014 playoff format's what they're looking at to resume. The season should be interesting if they do it. They're making progress on it, so we'll see if they do. That'd be fun and interesting. I love playoff hockey. It's one of my favorite things to watch. That would make it even better. And then DraftKings, they had a thing on DraftKings. The next player we need a 10-part documentary series on is, who do you guys say?
Tiger Woods. I think that's pretty clear.
Tiger would be a good one.
Tiger.
I put if we're going, just on. I know there's not controversy surrounding him, but I would love to just see more on Wayne Gretzky. Maybe not 10 parts, maybe just a docuseries, just maybe 1 or 2 episodes, just to talk about how this guy, nobody can touch him.
Yeah, because people don't like to see the just hard
good
work.
People. Yeah,
he doesn't do anything. It's not that exciting.
Right, exactly. But I agree on Tiger. Tiger would be great.
Well, only because his childhood. I mean, I don't know. It'd be kind of. I don't know. Tiger would be all right.
You could talk about his dad, the dictator, pretty much, who forced him to golf and do all this shit.
Yeah, that's right.
The military man who cheated on his mom. I mean, there's so many good backstories to that, but I don't think they'd be able to do that since his mom's still alive. I mean, but Tiger is literally a spitting image of his dad. He did the same stuff. He saw his dad cheat on his mom multiple times, and he did the same thing. I mean, it's just habit, but that's what happens too when you're ingrained and I hate to say grounded, but you're literally doing one thing your whole life. You don't have time to do shit, so he doesn't know anything else. Once you get a taste of a Perkins waitress at 2 a.m. when you've been winning golf tournaments and you're a multi-millionaire over time.
Hey, we're not going to badmouth Perkins waitresses, though.
They didn't do anything wrong.
Perkins waitresses are all right with me. Shout out to Perkins.
So I saw one movie that I think I want to cover in the future. We won't do it today. This has been a long episode, but we do got to cover Space Jam at some point. All of us watch it, go back and cover that movie. That'd be a great one. So something fun that a picture I saw that Sports Nation put out was fantastic. Said you can't unsee it. It has Jerry Krause, and then it shows from Space Jam, the Monstars coach. It was fucking great. Something to check out.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about Jordan. So there's, again, just a reminder, there's a new documentaries are being released early starting this weekend. First episode of Lance Armstrong, just called Lance. And then next week will be the second episode, both on Sunday. After that, June 7th, we got Be Water about Bruce Lee. And then June 14th, Long Gone Summer, 98 home run chase. And that is the same time as this NBA Finals we just talked about with the Utah Jazz and Jordan and the last dance of the Bulls. So 98 was a good year, not for Parrott since he was 1, but he was getting ready to turn 2. You were getting ready to turn 2 in July. So the NBA Finals were already over by your birthday. So you were almost to your second birthday. But on this day, sports history. So let me just give you some fun things on this day in sports history, some events, and then we can wrap this episode up at hopefully an hour and 42 minutes. Oh, God. All right. So Larry Holmes beats Tim Witherspoon by split decision to retain his WBC title at the Dunes Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Larry Holmes. Speaking of boxing, I'd see a 10-part series on Mike Tyson. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. Great one. I'd love that.
Only way you could do 10 parts, it had to be somebody that transcended their sport.
Tiger, Tyson, Jordan. I mean, all good.
88.
91.
Larry Holmes? Shit, that's probably like 93.
83. Give it to Zazu. Look at you. Roger Clemens beats Twins 5-4 for his first victory?
84.
84 is correct. Very good. So Bernardini wins the Preakness. Javier Castellano was the jockey.
76.
69.
80.
2006. All right, and that's good for that. Let's see if we got any. Let's see if we got any good birthdays on this day. I'm always interested to see who has a birthday. We've come across some good ones, but we'll see if we got any more that are worth note. Oh, these guys are old. Yeah, there's nothing really big here so far that I'm going down the line. Austin Kearns.
No.
Happy birthday, Austin Kearns.
Not that exciting.
No, that really isn't that exciting. You're absolutely correct. That's actually the only one that's on here that we would know who it is. So nothing exciting on this day for birthdays. That's quite unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. Oh, well. But thank you to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter. It's Songs by Wes. Thanks to Brandon All Wear Clothing, Sean, Crandall's Quality Landscaping, Brittney of Verizon, Cassandra at PNC, Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com. Sorry to Sparty Steve, we couldn't get to you. Look forward to, hopefully you'll still support us. Maybe you'll buy us some masks and some food for episode 200. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Zachu.
Rest in peace, Macho Man, 9 years later. R.I.P.
Mailman don't deliver on Sundays.